Hey everyone, you're watching Soundwaves TV. Chasta here with my new friends. I feel like we're besties, honestly. Treasures, what's up, guys?
Not a whole lot.
Glad to be here.
Yeah.
Cheers. Welcome to Bar Soundwaves.
Cheers.
Thank you for having us.
Right? I've actually never, have I ever said that on the air? I don't think I've ever said Bar Soundwaves, but it feels right.
First time here.
Right?
Good way to lure me in.
I know, exactly. We did provide beer and water because, you know, we're responsible like that, believe it or not. So we found you guys because of Trixie Rasputin. She came on and we were doing an interview and she starts talking about Treasures and how she found you guys. And this was a little while back. How do you know Trixie? What is that relationship, and isn't she amazing? Let's start there.
Yeah, Trixie's the bomb.
Yeah.
We're connected through our recording studio, or the studio that we recorded our record at. Mm-hmm. Her boyfriend at the time, his band was recording at the same studio, and she was listening to one of our demos. She's like, "That's awesome!" And then we connected, and she was interested in becoming a local promoter.
Yeah.
And then so we were her first band that she promoted, and
The very first one.
first one.
That's incredible.
Lucky us.
You really are, because she's very passionate. She came on board and we were like, you're one of our people. I mean, immediately. Because anybody who has that much passion about music, A, and B, the local scene, we're like, you're part of the family.
Yeah, it's inspiring for
It
sure.
really is. It's cool.
So many connections through her.
Yeah.
And it's so fun how we kind of like come up in the same scene at the same time.
Yeah, she does the real work. You know, she's not one of those people that just bullshit talks. You know, she's out there really trying to connect people, put shows together, and be that person. And we super respect her for that.
You can see it in her email formatting. You know, she's like got all these different colors, font sizes, like all these different sections. She cares. She gives a shit.
That's her personality in an email, right? Like, it's so colorful and exciting and full of passion and love. I love it. This is not a Trixie Rasputin fan interview, by the way, but we really do love her. Yeah,
it might be actually.
Check it out.
Actually is.
So we found you guys through her, but how long have you been around? Because I went back on Instagram and it looked like 2021-ish. Is that right? Is that accurate?
Sounds like ballpark.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I could speak to that a little bit because I joined the band while these two were in the studio, kind of starting to do the legwork on our record, and they were looking for a guitarist, and I got contacted from our mutual friend who was producing the record, and that was around the end of 2019 almost, I think.
Yeah, it must have been. We'd formed right before the pandemic hit.
Yeah.
And
of course.
And then, but it was great because we like met our producer and got connected with the recording studio. Then pandemic hits, so we have something to do during the pandemonium.
Yeah.
So we like took our time making the record, and then now we're just kind of emerging. I feel like we've really been gigging for about a year and some change, year and a half maybe.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Were you all in other bands before and then you just sort of came together?
I was playing death metal.
Love it. Yes. Did you have the shirt that you can't read the name of the band, but
No.
it's like super cool?
We didn't go that far, and I was like,
That's unfortunate.
I was super anti-conformist. Like, I didn't want to be I want to be different.
Yes.
In such a bad way.
Yeah. Got to stand out.
Yeah.
Hey, these days, especially on social media, you got to stand out. That's just part of it. So you call yourself garage rock, and I have kind of a fun story / question for you. So I know what garage rock means to me. Like, I know what my personal definition of that is, right? But this sounds like a name drop, and it's going to be a douchey moment, so let's just get through it together. I was interviewing Joe Perry of Aerosmith yesterday, and I know, right? Just don't drop that.
Ow, my toe.
And he was talking about Hollywood Vampires, which is his gig with Alice Cooper and Johnny Depp. Bam, bam. And he was saying that he feels like that band is as close to garage rock as he can get. And I was like, man, that's so cool, right? Because, I mean, he's this superstar. He's been doing Aerosmith for 50 years, and he really desperately wants, like, that feeling, right, of garage rock. So I'm going to stop talking. I don't want my definition. I want your definition. What does that term mean to you? What does it mean to this band?
It's a really interesting question. I think we had a really good take on that too, because when we were first originally kind of forming, like, what's the style of music that we are, like how we describe ourselves. And Corey mentioned like garage pop dynamite, and we're like, that's kind of cool.
That's
kind of
super
reminds
cool.
us like of early Foo Fighters stuff.
Yeah.
And then we were kind of laughing. We're like, we're actually not really garage rock, because I feel like we try to make everything tighter, like everything like a little bit more like arena, like a little bit more exposed,
bigger.
And so we kind of laughed at that, like kind of like taking that, the ethos of, hey, we're working really hard, all of us together in the same room, like in a garage, so to speak,
Like a mechanic's
like
garage.
a mechanic's garage, you know.
That's good.
And then
I like that.
polishing it and making it something that's even taken to the next level, if you will.
I mean, these days having a garage is a luxury.
Yeah, right? That's actually true in San Francisco. That's
we call
real
it
talk.
basements.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
The other side, I guess the apartment rock would be like loft core. Take it and run with it.
You need another band, a side project, like your covers band. You know how the Foo Fighters did the DGs?
Yeah.
You need to do something like that.
It'll be loftcore.
Loftcore.
I'm into it.
It's like, I feel like that's like yacht rock meets metal.
Right,
metalcore.
but with programmed drums. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's what the neighbors have complained.
Drum machine.
The neighbors,
big time.
yeah.
The walls are paper thin.
That is valid.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. It's cool because I feel like garage rock to me, in my personal definition, is about a vibe, and it's about like 0 F's given. And it's like, we're here for the music. We don't care about tone. We don't care about perfection. We like the warts and all. Let's just get in there and rock. And I love that. Like, I live for blues and I live for garage rock on a personal level. That's the space I live. And I loved his definition too.
I love that. I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head. I think that if rock and roll, for example, is an attitude, not a format, right? Like garage pop dynamite, as an attitude, kind of sums us up. Even though sonically it might not be specifically what most would consider to be garage rock.
Yeah, it was more of like a mantra through recording the record, kind of. It'll change over time, I'm sure. But like, it's funny because like Jack brings this like really pristine, like just laser vision of like what he wants to execute, and he does a really good job at it. And I'm more of like the get up and go, it's fine as it is person. So we level each other out really well,
That's a great balance, though.
Yeah, it is a good balance.
Because you get the vibe of that, but then you get the nice sound of the other, and it's a good marriage.
Like he gets really locked in, and sometimes he has to get snapped out of it, and that's when I come in.
You're like, it's fine, move along. Well, if you don't, sometimes you can get caught up where like GNR took 13 years to get an album out.
Right.
You can way overthink that, and artists are notorious for that.
True.
So you can just mill it to death sometimes if you don't just go, all right, baby is born, let it go. Let it go. And I'm sure I'm speaking out of turn because I'm not a musician, but I'm sure that's probably how it feels.
Oh yeah, you could just go forever.
Yeah, go for it.
It's a really, like when you're writing a song, finding or determining yourself what that finish moment is just everyone struggles in their own way with that.
Yeah. What is the writing process with you guys?
It usually starts with Jack, but
Okay.
Yeah, usually like, phone memos, there's like, analogous riffs I can slam together. That's a good hook, that's a good verse, that's a good thing. And then once you get the basic outline going, then it's just like refining, get a cool guitar solo from Corey. Like
Punch it up.
We make some really cool drum fills and stuff like that with Bobby and
It's actually kind of cool. It's a work in progress, but like Jack will have some kind of ideas. He'll bring it to me and we'll workshop it for hours.
Yeah.
And just kind of like, we call it mining for nuggets, like gold mining. Like there's
That's
so
great.
much stuff. Like we'll do it for hours and we're like, that riff out of this session, that's the one. And then Jack will run with it. And then before you know it, Corey's punching it up and we're just kind of taking it to this level.
Yeah, like we're kind of we're still learning our process because, like I said, I joined the band when they were already kind of in the process of writing a record. So I was brought on board like already a fan of the songs.
Yeah,
it was like probably about, I'd say, 60% written.
Okay,
and then I came in and we had all this time and with just nothing else to do. So we just wrote it as best we could, and I started contributing my part. And since then we've been writing a lot more and kind of figuring out how we contribute on our own individual levels.
Yeah, that's so cool. You guys feel like an established band for a long time. Like you're giving off that energy, which is a great sign, by the way. Yeah.
Thank you.
Because so much being a part of a band, from what I understand from 20 years of doing interviews, is really that you got good humans that you can stand. I mean, honestly,
that's the rarest part.
It is. I mean, a lot of music can be made between assholes who hate each other, but when you have like a good vibe on top of making great music, as you do, I mean, freaking, that's the icing on the cake. Yeah. I have to understand though, and this is not a dig question. This is just like legit talk.
Dig away.
How do you guys start in 2021 and you're like, blammo, we're here and we're opening for Fishbone? How the hell did that happen? What?
That would be the magic of a man named Mikey Ross.
Okay. Love you, Mikey Ross. Well done. That's amazing.
He works for, I don't know, you know the story better than I do, I guess.
Yeah, he works for a backline company. Like he runs a studio, but he also moonlights as a backline guy.
Yeah.
And he just had the connection. The guy runs a backline company, does a lot of booking as well. Primetime Entertainment out of Livermore.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's like, we need an opener band, and we just got hooked up, and it was pretty tight.
Sick.
It was like the biggest, smallest show we've ever played.
Where was it?
At the Tracy Theater.
At the Tracy Theater.
Beautiful venue.
I've never been there.
Yeah, I'd never heard of it.
Yeah.
It's like the tallest structure for miles.
Well, then Tracy, that's not really a surprise, I guess.
Yeah.
How were Fishbone? Did you meet them?
They were
Did you talk to
incredible.
them?
So fun.
Super nice.
Angelo's so cool.
Angelo is insane.
He's the best.
I interviewed him one time, and I swear to God, I was like, Angelo, Angelo, sit down. Angelo, sit down. Like he was like so up and jumping all over the place and telling jokes and yelling at people off screen. And I'm like, holy God, this is crazy. In a good way. He was awesome.
Oh yeah, I mean the crowd wasn't big, and he delivered it like it was the biggest show of his life. It's just,
And he does.
Such professionals.
He does that in interviews too.
Yeah.
He also watched our set and like gave us feedback after.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Like,
Like, honest
it was really
feedback.
early on in our live show game. Like it was definitely like I don't really get a lot of nerves going on stage, but like in the Tracy Theater for some reason I was like, we're out of town. You know, we got in the van and went out there. It's like this little mini tour kind of experience.
Big stage
early on.
too.
Yeah,
Massive
that's
stage.
cool.
Yeah, not our sickest performance ever, but he was like he gave us props.
Yeah.
That's really nice.
Yeah, what a cool dude.
And what great person to get wisdom from. Like somebody who's done it forever, played so many gigs in front of large crowds, small crowds, all of them.
Yeah.
And he does. You're right. He brings it every single time.
Mm-hmm.
There
We
could
got
be
to go through the
10,000 people or
trunk.
10. You got to what?
We got to go through his trunk.
No
his giant trunk.
way.
Yeah.
What
He
was
telling
that
some
like?
stories, pulling out different saxophones.
He's a
Yeah.
one-man like show.
It was incredible.
He like walks around as like a one-man stand-up show.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I love him.
Such
We
energy.
should get him on Soundwave sometime. That would be
totally.
a goal. Okay, so speaking of the album, do we have the album anywhere? Can we,
We sure do,
magically
Chasta.
make it?
Funny you should ask.
Ta-da! We need like a ah. So tell us about it. Your baby has been born.
Oh yeah, Gold Rush City, 8 tracks of
That's
banger
cool.
after banger.
Banger after banger.
So
I
the
like
cover is
that.
actually one of the coolest stories because we wanted something incredibly surreal. So we were actually all sitting around in the studio and just writing on a whiteboard. What do we want to do? Like what describes this? And we're coming up with these weird words like sticky, visceral, like just like
Honey dipped.
honey dipped.
God, I need you
melodies.
guys at my creative
You
writing.
know, just like no bad ideas, just throw it all.
Yeah.
And we started like whittling down, or we're like locks on a thing, we spell something out. We're like, okay, keep going, and we're like, what about a slot machine on the Altamont Pass?
You literally just
Like
came up with that
literally,
now.
literally,
Like,
we're just like Altamont.
We
Altamont
literally
Pass.
just came
like,
up with that.
I was like,
so freaking random.
I was like going off about how all the greatest album covers in my mind are like monolithic, like it's just
Yeah.
one thing in the middle, whether it's
Yeah.
like Nirvana Nevermind
Right.
or like Pink Floyd Wish You Were Here. It's just like some object. It doesn't have to be a big involved piece, just
Mm-hmm.
one thing that just sticks in your mind as a symbol.
if we could do Storm Thorgerson, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
First record
Yes,
cover,
right.
like we're winning.
Totally.
I feel like we kind of pulled it off.
Yeah,
I'm
so-
impressed with us.
I got the stool that this is our producer Travis Kasperbauer sitting on that stool, and I borrowed that stool from the bar I work at,
Nice. Which is what? Shout out.
Casanova Lounge on
Love it.
Valencia.
There you go.
Oh yeah, I know it was
not suitable
wasn't
for
very-
patrons.
That's my kind of bar, actually.
It was perfect for this.
And,
Yeah.
and the slot machine we rented it from a guy, Squires and Corey slot machine repair in where was it?
In San
San
Mateo.
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 What?
It's like this 80-year-old dude with like a giant belt buckle and like a parrot in the front of his store, just a huge stockpile of vintage slot machine parts, and he just
So many.
He's got like a million stories. He's been working on slot machines since he was like 13 years old.
What?
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it was crazy.
He's like an ex-gangster or whatever. He's been shot.
Of course
he's been
he is.
like,
He's been
He's
shot.
been back and
He's
forth.
been
Sounds right.
arrested for gambling. He was the first person to integrate like music.
He
in,
brought
like,
Little
Mississippi.
Richard to like
Little
some
Richard.
racist town and was
Yeah.
like, "No, he's going on."
Oh, there's a music angle? We should get him
Yeah.
on Soundwaves.
No,
Let's
he's a
make
cool
that
guy.
happen.
He's
You guys
also
can connect
John
us.
He's also
Squires.
like 85 maybe. So
Yeah.
Oh,
so-
love it. Okay, we need to get his stories. We
You might
need
have to
get
go
those out.
there.
That's okay. That's okay. We go on the road. We
Field
can make
trip.
it happen.
Yeah,
Field
but
trip.
He rented this to us. We strapped it to a pickup truck and just scouted a location where it like moved a bunch of trash off the side of the road and made it look like we were out in the middle of nowhere.
Wow.
Brought
I
a
mean,
generator, plugged the thing in so it'd spin.
It
I
works,
was
too.
wondering about
Yeah.
that. I'm like, how do you get it? Okay, so
He
you
was
brought up.
working.
You were
Yeah.
dedicated.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
We just made it happen. It was awesome.
I am super impressed, you guys. That is so cool. Well,
The one
we're
little cloud.
Yeah, I know, right? We're big fans. I mean, you may be one of the bands we played. Dennis has played most on Soundwaves FM on the Bone.
Appreciate it.
He's
Thank you,
played
Dennis.
several of your songs, so we really do love you guys. You're amazing. Every time I open social and you post something, I'm like, blam, like your riffs and stuff, riff of the week and stuff. I'm just like, it's really good stuff. So congratulations, good luck. You got a lot of time ahead of you. You're youngins. And we're here to see what happens.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chasta.
Tell everybody where to find you and where to find this. Where can they buy this?
Go to treasures.band. We got the link tree there. All the links.
There you go.
Everything.
Awesome.
Yes.
By the way, I am originally from Oklahoma, and Treasures was a strip club in Oklahoma City.
We got it. Let's go there.
So you need to book a gig there. I'm
yeah.
just
Yes.
saying.
Under the marquee.
There you go.
Yeah.
Treasures and Treasures.
Yeah, that'd be
it
amazing.
Works. All right, you're watching Soundwaves. Let's check out some treasures. Why don't we?
I don't think they saw me drink my beer. Ready? I'm a
pretty cool guy.